Hi there folks, welcome to Dunzy's Guitar World. Today we're going to get wasted. So in the intro I've created 4 very short backing tracks from an album that came out in 1984, and the album is Waysted by Waysted. I think it's referred to as the mini album. It's Music for Nations, MFN 31. My apologies for the offensive cover, but it was 1984, it was a different time. So yes, this came out 84 September I believe. I would have been just turning maybe 18 or something like that, and this is one of these albums that really resonated with both me and the band I was in. With 3 guys, including my cousin, who will hopefully be making a comment here, because he will agree with me. He'll say Dunzy's not making this up. We absolutely love this album. Now the album before this, Vice's brilliant album, Ronnie Cafield on guitar. What a guitar player Ronnie Cafield is. But this particular album, it just seems simpler. It's like Pete had taken the best, simplest parts of UFO and just wrote 5 songs just using those best, simplest parts, and we could play this. We could turn up to rehearsal and we could play all these songs. We loved it, and we went to see them, and I'll find out the exact date when we went to see them if you hold on a second. On the 26th of August 1984 at the Scottish Rock and Pop Festival. And the guitar player on the album and at that gig, now I think he only did 1 gig, possibly 2, was Neil Shepherd, who I think may have been in Jess Cox's band, formerly the Tigers of Pantang, and then he actually ended up in the Tigers of Pantang. So it was Neil Shepherd playing guitar. He was a good guitar player, but strangely none of the songs are written by him. He's not credited on any of the songs. So like I said, perhaps Pete had just, maybe got a couple of brewskis with singer Scottish guy Fin Muir, who sang on the first album as well, and they wrote 5, I think they wrote 6 songs, because there's an extra song on the 12-inch single. Wrote 6 songs, simple, effective, classic rock songs. So today I'm going to do guitar lessons for 4 of them. Now the songs are, oh by the way, you can get this on the extended version of The Good, The Bad and The Wasted. It's got the mini album tracks in here. I don't know if this is still available, Razor Records. Anyway, I'm going to do Won't Get Out Alive. Now I've already done a full lesson for Won't Get Out Alive, which will be up there, which was about 3 or 4 years ago, and between you and me it was about rubbish. I'm going to do The Price You Pay, Rocksteady and Cinderella Boys. I'm going to do the main riffs out of these. Now like I said, this is one of these albums that just really resonated with me as a guitar player, because it was well within my capabilities. I liked UFO, I liked the Schenker era, loved the Chapman era, but there was a lot of that stuff that was quite difficult to play. But at this point in time, we could play this, and it was great. So yeah, we went to see them at the Scottish Rock and Pop Festival, and then strangely enough, I will quickly check my dates here, strangely enough, so that was the 26th of August 1984. On the September the 11th 1984, which would have been about 3 weeks later, Neil Shepherd was no longer in the band, and it was Mr. Paul Chapman was playing with Waysted on the Iron Maiden tour, on the World Slavery tour. We saw them in Edinburgh on the 13th of September 1984. So that is what today's video is. I will be doing guitar lessons for 4 songs from the album Waysted by the band Waysted. The reason I'm doing this is to transport you back into the head of young Dunzy in 1984 and his bandmates, because we love this, and it's easy to play. It's a good one if you fancy getting a couple of brewskis, if you're a beer drinker. If you're a hellraiser, I wouldn't raise any hell over it, but I'd maybe drink some beer and just jam along to these. And please let me know underneath, if you're a guitar player of the same vintage as me, which according to my YouTube analytics, quite a lot of people are. What was the album that resonated with you? Or maybe 2 or 3 albums so it's resonated with you. To me it was the Chapman stuff. I was a big fan of Skinner as well, that sort of thing, because of all the lead guitar playing. And this particular album here, Waysted by Waysted. Please do let me know the sort of things that you were listening to when you were 17, and do they still mean as much to you now? Because this still means as much to me. As ever folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on YouTube on Dunzy's Guitar World. Just for now. won't get out alive. Only 4 chords in this song, I think, and I'll quickly go over the parts. So the beginning is an E to an A chord, but what Neil Shepherd's doing is he's making these harmonics on the bottom E string. They go like this before he goes to the A chord. So he's going down that open E string, bottom string. Now I'll zoom in and show you how you do this. So you're keeping your pick and your plectrum very, very close to both your thumb and this finger here. So you're showing very, very little of the pick to the string, and effectively the string is banging against like your thumb, the flesh of your thumb. It's creating the harmonic as you go down the string. So I'm zoomed in as far as I can. I hope this is clear. I'll do 2 angles in this. And over to the A chord. I'll do the other angle. So you're showing very little of your pick to the string. That's just down the open E string and then over to an A chord. Focusing on that. Two chords for the whole intro, E, A. So the verse, we're high up on highway number 19. Just the E to the A. I just play these with one finger, I don't play the full chords, just one finger. E, A. Now the second half of the verse, it stays on the A and goes from A to D. Instead of E to A, we're going from A to D. Same kind of rhythm. And then at the end of the verse, it sounds like he's coming from the D, like this, to a B. E, B, E, B. So I'll zoom in and show you how you play that D chord. So in the second half of the verse, he's going from the A to the D. So it sounds like he's coming from the D, he's playing the third fret of the B string, second fret of the G string, and then he drops the third fret of the B down to the second fret of the B, and it's like an A, I guess he plays. To the B, E, B, stops dead on the B. Now another great technique, which Mr. Neil Shepherd has shown us here, is the pick slide before he goes into the chorus. It's quite difficult to get this all in one. So I'll show you the end of the verse and into the chorus. So it's quite difficult getting the pick slide all the way down. I think he's just sliding it down the bottom 2 strings. And then catching the E chord And then he just bends the 3rd fret of the bottom E string, the G note, twice. 3 times, Dunsey, 3 times. 4 times, he bends it 4 times. I won't get out alive, so he's following that. Into the second verse, same as first verse. Second verse, same as the first verse, but a little bit faster and just as good. So the next song is The Price You Pay. Starts on a, again I think there's only 3 or 4 chords in this whole song. The B sorry, power chord here. To an E. Hey, hey, hey. The lyric. So it does it all 11 times round, and on the 11th time, or the 12th time, when it goes to the B, it then goes down to an A, and like this. Stop dead. So the intro's like this. Into the verse. So the verse is the same chords, the B power chord here, but I think he's playing the E power chord up here on the 7th fret of the A, 9th fret of the D and G. Now I'll show you what he's doing here, because it's not strictly just the B. He's doing something different as well. So you're playing the E chord, 7th fret of the A, and across the 9th fret of the D, G strings, and then you pull it off, hammer back on the 9th fret. So it's B. It's actually the pre-chorus. It's a power chord, or you can play open chords, but you can play, so it's a D, A, B, A, G. Build up on the G. Now rock steady is this D to an A, so it's the open A string, and then the 7th fret of the D, 7th fret of the G, but then you take the 7th fret of the G down to the 6th fret of the G, and it goes like this. To an A chord. So you're using the pedal tone on the open A string. I'll zoom into that a bit. So it's the 7th fret of the D, G string, and you're playing a pedal tone on the A string, and you change the 7th fret of the G down to the 6th fret of the G. To an A. So the verse moves up to a D power chord. Back to the first bit. To the D. And the chorus is C, G, D. Again, all just simple bar chords, it sounds to me. Back to the beginning. On to Cinderella, boys. So this is mostly around G, and it fades in. And what Neil's playing is this. Classic blues. Be sure and give it a good shake, as they say. So really it's the D, G strings open, and then you're sliding up to the 5th fret of those two strings, to the 3rd fret of those two strings, open, back to the 3rd, in one smooth movement. Now, at the same time he's doing that, obviously on overdub, he's doing the classic pick slide. Now, you can't do these at the same time, I have to say. You need to overdub it. So that's what he's doing. And that's the main riff of this whole song, but it's great.